Welcome to the Daily Commercial Forum. I'm your host, Sandy Moore. There are many organizations in Lake County that help build strong futures for our children. Recently, 59 nonprofits and school districts throughout Central Florida received $1.5 million in grants through the Walt Disney World Helping Kids Shine grant program. Today, we will be talking with 4 local grant recipients to find out how they plan on using the money to inspire local kids to reach their full potential. Our guests are Ashley Rodriguez, Business Development Director for the Early Learning Coalition of Lake County, Freddie Williams, Chief Professional Officer from Boys and Girls Club of Lake and Sumter Counties, Linda Ford, Grant Specialist with the Education Foundation of Lake County, and Wendy Simpson, Board Member of the Bay Street Players. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I want to first just talk a little bit in general about the grant itself. Linda, I know you're a grant writer. Can you tell us just a little bit about this particular grant with Walt Disney World?
This grant from Disney is the Disney Helping Kids Shine grant, and there are 2 types of recipients who get this particular grant. Those who are sustaining, that means they have established with Disney, they did write for the grant at one time, and then they have proven year after year that they meet the criteria, that they are focusing on the points that Disney likes to bring across. So they sort of mark you as, we select you to get this year after year because you have proven to us that you are doing good things with it. The other type would be the ones that would apply for the first time and sort of have to prove themselves. And so the Educational Foundation is one that we are sustaining, and so we were selected to receive it again this year.
So I bet that makes your job a little bit easier.
Much easier, yes, when they call and say, we have money for you. Yes.
The grant writer's dream right there.
Absolutely.
You don't have to do anything. Now, how long, do you have any idea how long this particular grant has been around?
I know that we received it for 4 years, and so, but I don't know how it originated with Disney.
Very good. And is it a very difficult grant in general to apply for, do you know?
When you say difficult, there's so many different kinds and what they will ask for. It's not an easy, just fill out a few lines and you can have it, but they want to see, like most places do, they want to see what you can do, what kind of deliverables you can give to them, and they want it to align with their focus of helping communities, helping people, and can give them results. So I haven't done the application itself in a very long time, but it was quite extensive because they do make sure that where their money goes, it's making a difference.
Well, I am not a grant writer, but I have been a part of writing grants before, and I can tell you I don't want the job of a grant writer. And I know that there are some that are they just ask for everything. You have to have all these letters of reference, and you have to do all of these things in order to get the grant. And then there's some that are just very simple. So that was kind of, so it sounds like maybe kind of in the middle of that.
Yes, and a lot of grants I've seen over the last few years are going so streamlined, they're going online, and that has simplified as to where you used to have to do everything by hard copy. But that online system is much more easier for us to do.
Very good.
Because most of us, we already have our documents on the computer, and rather than printing out your 990 or whatever, you can now upload it onto the
so much better
website or however they have it. Yeah, so
Right.
it is.
Right.
I will agree
and
with
then,
that. It's
and then
definitely
the
a lot
organization already has that about you, so they know from year to year what you're doing, and it's all right there in front of them. So they don't have to. You don't have to come in with all this paperwork, and we're going to read through this and see what's going on. Yeah.
Well, and I want to come back to the Educational Foundation in just a little while. We'll give you a little bit of a break. But let's start talking to you, Ashley, about the Early Learning Coalition. Tell us about, what you all received the grant for, what project?
Okay. Well, first of all, I can tell you a little bit about the Early Learning Coalition for the viewers who don't really know what it is. But basically, we oversee the voluntary pre-kindergarten program in the county, as well as the school readiness program, which is subsidized childcare. And so that's kind of an overview quickly of what we do. And then the money that we received from Disney, the grant, was for our Raising a Reader program, which is an early literacy program that involves parents and teachers and libraries in establishing read aloud routines with children and a love of reading for future school success. So our Raising a Reader program is a voluntary program that our school readiness providers can be a part of. And once they decide that they want to be a part of that program, we train them. The coalition trains them as to how to implement the program in their center. And
what did you say the what was the name of the person who, if they want to be a part of it? What did you
It's
say?
a school readiness provider center.
So what is that?
School readiness is, like I said, it's the subsidized child care program, and families who qualify for that fall below 150% of the poverty level.
So it can be any, like a preschool or something like that, that wants to be able to do this, and then you train them, the providers, that school.
The school readiness providers that are contracted with us, yes, any
Right.
school
Okay,
readiness
that's
provider. So, like I said, the coalition purchases books for the Raising a Reader program with the grant funding from Disney. And then we train our school readiness centers, the teachers and the directors and things like that, as how to implement the program in their center. And then how the program works is that every week children get a red bag at the beginning of the week. And in that red bag is 4 books that are developmentally appropriate, multicultural books, very high quality, brand new books. And also there is a DVD for parents that explain how the Raising a Reader program works. So these children, they pick out a bag, they take it home, and they have all week to sit down with their parents. We encourage the parents to sit down with them while they're reading it, whether it's the parents reading to the child or vice versa. And then at the end of that week, the children bring their books back and they get a new bag. So every week they're getting brand new books, and it rotates. It's on a rotating schedule, so children don't receive the same books the entire year. So they're constantly exposed to new materials, and it really encourages that bond between the parents and the kids. And then at the end of the year, the preschool children have a ceremony that recognizes their participation in the Raising a Reader program. And then at the end of that ceremony, they get a blue bag instead of a red bag. And in that blue bag is an application for a library card and little gifts like bookmarks or things that go along with reading. And we encourage parents to take their children with their blue bag to the library, and the libraries recognize that blue bag as a Raising a Reader program participant. And so they take their blue bag in, they apply for a library card, and then a librarian will take them on a tour of the library, how to take out books and how to research and things like that. And remind you, this is all for little kids.
Right.
So it's it establishes that love of reading, the interest and the excitement of going and getting new books and things like that. So that's
great.
kind of an overview of the
Now,
program.
how long have you all received this particular grant?
This will be our 3rd year receiving the grant. So
And is it for the same program?
yes. And one other aspect of the Raising a Reader program is that it's incorporated into our Big Blue Bus program. And our Big Blue Bus is our mobile classroom where kids can come in if we have events. For example, we just participated in an event with Devereaux Kids. We parked the Big Blue Bus out there. Kids were able to come on and play with toys and read books and things like that. And when they come onto the bus, before they can do any of that stuff, play with toys, do arts and crafts, things like that, the whoever's overseeing the program, the Big Blue Bus, they read a story to the children. So that's kind of their ticket in to play and have fun. So
Very cool. Yeah. Very good. Freddie, tell us a little bit about the Boys and Girls Club and the grant that you all received, and how long have you had it? What is it going for?
Okay, well, I think we're the only person at the table that had to compete for the grant. We haven't received it for the last 2 years. I can say that it was a pretty competitive process. One of the most challenging problems that we had was writing our grant deliverables and outcomes and an overview of our Boys and Girls Club in small box of characters. Just because there's so much that we do at the Boys and Girls Club, we have so many programs, and we serve so many youth from a wide range. We essentially serve kids between 5 and 18 years old. We have 6 locations in Lake County, 1 in Claremont, 2 in Leesburg, 1 in Eustis, 1 in Umatilla, and 1 in Lady Lake. And we serviced a little over 1,500 kids in 2012. The funding that we received for the Making Kids Shine grant is specific for our early reading intervention program, in addition to our STEM programming that we have for the kids. One of the greatest challenges that we're trying to combat is summer learning loss with the kids. So we want to ensure that the kids that are going back to school are prepared for the next school year. The demographic of kids that we serve, Last statistic we saw, based off 2012 information, is that over 70% of our kids either are on free or reduced lunch or come from a single-family household. And research has shown that those kids that would fall in those categories historically come back to school not quite as ready for school as those. So we want to make sure that those kids are prepared for school going into the next school year. We have 3 primary focus areas that we're trying to reach with the Boys and Girls Club. The first being academic success. We want to make sure that every kid graduates from high school, every kid also goes on to the next grade level and ready for the next grade and prepared for the FCAT. The second is character and citizenship. We want to ensure that our kids are becoming productive citizens of society and becoming the next generation of leaders and engage in civic duties. And the third is healthy lifestyles. We want to ensure that our kids are eating properly and are engaging in pro-social activities, so they're abstaining from risky sexual behavior, drugs and alcohol. So those are the 3 overlying or overarching tenets that we try to promote.
Those are pretty
for the Boys and Girls
huge.
Club. Yeah. and we have very specific programs that target those 3 areas.
Well, and I visited the Boys and Girls Club, and I was so impressed with the things that you all do and are able to accomplish in the after-school care. I mean, just helping them with their homework, and then, just like what you're talking about, teaching them how to cook, even sometimes little practical information that they get to learn.
Life skills that they need.
Yeah, it's very impressive, and it's not necessarily what you always think. What you used to think, oh, they're just playing, somebody's just watching them play. It's not at all like that at all. So
It sort of fills those gaps for those kids whose parents might not always be there.
for whatever reason,
Yeah.
whether they have to work late or whether they're, whatever it is. Now tell us about the particular program that you're doing. Does the money that you received, will that fund the program entirely, or is it just going to help to?
It's going to help our program. It's specific for our summer program. So the summer program to combat summer learning loss, we received $30,000 from Disney, and the program in itself runs a little over $200,000 to run. We're excited because the funding we receive for Disney is specific to the programs. None of the money is used for fundraising or admin costs. It goes directly to the kids to prepare them for school.
Very good. And I didn't ask you, but the same question is, does that money completely fund your program, or
Yes,
it does?
It's $20,000 that we received from Disney, and it goes directly into the Raising a Reader program, purchasing books, training the teachers who will be implementing the program, things like that.
So you don't have to find additional funds to make that happen. That really does make that happen.
Right.
Very good. All right, let's go back to you, Miss Linda. Tell us a little bit about the Educational Foundation, because I know some people probably don't know about that, and then a little bit about your grant and what that money goes to.
The Educational Foundation of Lake County is a nonprofit organization, and we are the support organization for Lake County schools. So we raise money for the schools to purchase the things that they can't afford. We do grants for teachers, we do backpacks for students in the summertime. We do various programs, and then we do recognition events for the district as well. So we're a partnership with Lake County schools, trying to help any way we can with however we can do it, by writing grants or by doing fundraisers.
Very neat stuff. Then you have just like an Apple store for the teachers.
We do. We have 3 Apple Mart stores. We have Leesburg, Claremont, and Mount Dora. The sites, the Leesburg is on our campus, at our Dabney campus, and the other 2 sites were donated. And we have volunteers that come and stock the shelves and then open it every Wednesday. Teachers receive passes that are sent to their principals to give to them, and they can come every Wednesday with their pass and pick up free supplies for their classrooms. And also every first-year teacher gets a pass. They can come once a month.
Wow.
Because they're struggling the most. So so we try to keep those shelves filled so that the teachers stop pulling money out of their own pockets to buy things for their students.
Well, and I was raised by teachers, so I know that that's a little off of the subject of what we're doing, but I remember, them my mom going and buying stuff for her bulletin boards and all sorts of things out of her own pocket, just spending money. So
Teachers
that's
do.
really a great thing that you all do. Now, what grant did you get, and what particular program did it go toward?
This grant from Disney was for $35,000, and it is implemented in Lake County schools for various programs. And we work with the school board, and also we consult with Disney so to make sure that we're in line with what they would like, and just to give them ideas of the things that will be used for this. So this was split up into, I can use my little chart to cheat here. It was split up into different programs that will be inside the school system. Part of it is for certifications. Now these are for students who are taking classes in high school, so they could be certified nursing assistants or culinary arts or Adobe, Photoshop, TV production, and they take a certification test when they finish the program. And so part of the money goes to pay for that testing. So if they can't afford it, to take this test, but
They have all the skills, but they
they have
can't.
all the skills, they've had the classes, but the money is the problem. That's the one thing with the Educational Foundation. We try to take the problem of the money out of the way so students can receive their education. So it pays for their testing, so when they graduate from high school, they also have the certification and makes them work ready to go. Another part goes into STEM grants. That's where the teachers will apply to me for grants for great ideas and that are aligned with STEM. And so it's based.
And explain what STEM is, because I know there's some people that
STEM
don't.
is science, technology, engineering, and math. And it is the focal point of most of my grants now are STEM related, because those are the points that the students need to be focusing on. We need to be college and career ready. We're to push so that every student that graduates from Lake County Schools is ready either for college or for a career. And they've had instruction in that, preparing them from that. Another part of it is going to go to Families in Transition. This is a homeless program. And in the last year, they received $5,000. They bought shoe cards, hygiene kits, gas cards. They received clothing. And this was dispersed to over 500 families throughout the district. And that works through our student services. They use that, they identify, and the social workers work with that. We also have it's called In Sync. This is a new program that's coming into Lake County Schools, and it is a program that will allow students, parents, and teachers all to have access to communicate with each other. It's like 24 hours a day, year-round. The teacher wants to put more than what they can just do in the classroom. They put it on their site. The students can log in, get into that, get further help with it, tutoring. Parents can get in and get skills. They can do workshops. It's making it so that the teaching doesn't end when the last bell rings, but that it continue at home. It can continue through the summer.
So now, is this, because I'm excited about this as a parent that has kids that I can't sometimes do their third grade homework right now. I'm like, what is this supposed to be? So it's actually, if as a parent,
It
you
will be
can go
interactive, yes.
on and you can look and say, what are they trying to accomplish
Right,
here?
right.
And then you can help your
communicate
kid.
with the teachers.
Because I feel like they teach so differently now than what necessarily we learned, and sometimes as a parent you really do feel kind of lost with some of the things.
Right,
So
right.
that's really interesting. Very
Yes,
good.
and it's exciting how that it's going to be, just amazing how you can just, click on now and get help and be a part of the classroom. And, there's a lot of parents that need workshops with just helping them, like you say, stay in touch with what's going on at school so they can help their own children there. Mm-hmm. So that's a big portion of it. And then the other part are interactive grants. This is going to be a website that we are going to, we are under construction with the Educational Foundation website right now, and when it's finished, it's going to be a hub for the communities and for the schools so that a business person can go onto this site and say, we have internships. And the students can get on and they can click and look for internships. They can get on and say, we want to give $5,000 for teacher grants. And so you can go into it so that for all of Lake County Schools, when there's a lot of questions from parents and from businesses, there'll be the one hub that they go to, and this should answer everything. Teachers will get on there and apply for grants. Volunteers can get on there and see the opportunities that are open district-wide and say, they can sign up for that, find out information. So we're really excited about that. So we have one focal point, one hub where all your questions can be answered, and so that the resources can get out to the schools just because people have the information there.
Wow. This feels like you're biting off so much, and I know you all do even more than that. This is just from the grant aspect.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of partnerships.
Right. Very
Yeah, it's like
good.
our Apple Marts wouldn't run if it weren't for the volunteers.
Yeah.
And the Lake County Schools personnel that help implement these programs, you know, from the district to the administrators of the schools, down to the teachers. It's a great big partnership, and it works, and we enjoy doing it.
Now, tell me, and then we're going to get to Bay Street, but what difference does this money make? I mean, you know, would some of these things not be able to be done, or would we, you know, have to? Is this making a huge difference to you all?
It does. It does. Everything that Disney does for us is a huge difference. This money, the program, the homeless program, that would not exist if it weren't for the funds that they give. The NSYNC program, it would take longer to find funding for it. Everything, the grants that teachers get, you know, teachers have a certain amount of time to teach this child in this particular school year. So without Disney funding, most of these probably would not exist, because you're going to have to find it from somewhere, and if you can't, then you have to leave certain ones out. And Disney is such a wonderful partner with us. Last summer, they donated to about 6 counties in the district school buses. That we sent school buses and our superintendents down to Disney, and they filled up the buses with supplies. And we received 2,000 backpacks, and we received school supplies that their cast members started collecting, and they were sort of competing with each other, with the worldwide Disney cast members, and they filled these buses and boxes and sent out to all these districts. So they're just amazing, the support that Disney gives to the school system.
Well, Wendy, let's talk about Bay Street and tell us about your grant and a little bit about Bay Street itself.
Oh, Bay Street Players is located in Eustis, and we're a community theater. And this grant, the Disney Helping Kids Shine grant, is specifically for our young people's theater. We call it the YPT, so if you hear people refer to it as that. We do 5 musical productions a year. And the kids range from 7 years old to 18 years old. And what I heard here that I thought was really interesting is that there's a lot of talk of funding for STEM programs and science and math, and those things are really super important. But the purpose of this grant was to inspire artistic discovery, to teach kids to think outside of what jobs maybe could be automated in the future. It's good to know the scientific research into research, but if you can't imagine a different something, then you're kind of locked into one career path. And so our kids, we got $10,000 this year. We have one of those reoccurring grants that Ashley talked about. We specifically, one of the neat things we're doing that sort of kind of all goes along with what you guys were talking about is we have a senior tour group of kids from 13 to 18 who audition for and write their own production. We just went this morning to one of the local elementary schools in Eustis. The production this year is called Be a Buddy, Not a Bully. And it's really addressing the character education issues that you guys were talking about, and really kind of gives kids ideas of ways they can help each other, like they could help their mom bring in the groceries, or they could help their sister with math and these sort of things. And the kids in that group write that play and they present it, and it's really fun. They parody Call Me Maybe. I don't know if you know that song. It's a fun pop song,
Yes,
and they make it really interesting. The kids dance around, and in that, we were at Eustis Heights Elementary School, which is generally a low socioeconomic population, and it was fun to see them. They were so well behaved, and they were thrilled to have a theater experience. And that's the part that we're really excited about, and my director wants to talk to Boys and Girls Club about partnering with this, because tomorrow we have Eustis Elementary School's 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders walking down to our theater for the theater experience. They're having a field trip. They are only a couple blocks from us. So they're going to walk safely, of course, with police escorts to the theater, and they're going to see Seussical, the musical, which our kids are putting on right now, all of fun Dr. Seuss stories set to music, and they're going to actually sit in the theater and realize what that's about. And a lot of times when you come from a family that's really living paycheck to paycheck, you don't have that experience. Right. And so it's such a wonderful thing for them to get to do for our community. So that's one of the ways we give back. And we also have scholarships for our students. So if there's somebody, like I know Freddie was talking about different ways that kids learn and really inspiring them over the summer. We have a summer camp. We don't turn anybody away that can't afford it. And so what we do is we partner with our scholarship families, and so the families become part of the community theater. They bake goods for the concession stand, they usher and whatnot, so that their child can, participate participate for free. And so that's part of what the Disney Helping Kids Shine grant does at Bay Street.
Well, that's really cool. And I think, it is so important, and I think we sometimes do lose the whole, we got to make sure we have our math and our science.
Right.
But you have to have that balance in your brain. I mean, what do you need to invent something for if you can't dream what it could be,
Right.
so to speak?
And coming from
Exactly.
Disney, the Imagineers.
Exactly.
I can see why they would align with
That's
that.
a really
Yes.
good point, too, yeah.
That's right, and then they would definitely have value in that.
Right.
And the other thing I think that's really interesting is the fact that those kids had written that. So about the bullying, so it came from their age, and they probably have experienced it, and it's going to be very relatable.
That's right.
To the kids.
That's right. And they gave them, it was neat because they had a scene this morning where they showed this little girl who was new, and she did all the wrong things, trying to make friends, poking fun and making fun and whatever, and the kids didn't like that. So they went back in time and they taught her, how do you make friends better? And I could see some of the kids in the audience going, oh, like, that's a good strategy. Maybe I'll try to help others. So it was really a good, positive experience.
Very good. Now, in all of the grants that you've received, I mean, is this something, do you just use it for the same thing every time, or do you try to, dream up more things, or what kind of future plans do you have for your organizations with these?
Well, I know with us, as I said, we've served 1,500 kids, and we serve kids during the summer between 7 o'clock in the morning and 6 at night. And it involves a lot of one-on-one time and small time with kids. So by expanding the grants and our funding streams, it allows us to bring more kids into the Boys and Girls Club. As Bay Street is, we never turn away a child for lack of ability to pay, and we'll find a way to bring them in. So having these grants, we're looking to double our impact in the next 3 years. So being that we're spread throughout Lake County, there's a huge need and opportunity for kids to be involved with the club.
And I think that's kind of, it's going to be across the board for all of us, because the majority of our funding, I know with the coalition, with all of our programs, almost every single bit of our funding goes straight to direct services for children. So, the more money that you get, the more kids that you can serve, and that's ultimately what our goal is. I think for all of us is just to be able to help more kids, and the more kids that we can help, the better our community is going to be, and the better our future and our kids' future and our grandkids' future is going to be. So it's
And it's very apparent that you all are using these funds for some really great things and some very needed projects in our area. We are actually, I just realized, running out of time. So before we go, though, I want to make sure if anybody has any questions about any of your organizations, they can know where to go. So we're just going to go down the line, and let's get any website address or something that if they need more information.
okay. Well, the Early Learning Coalition of Lake County can be reached by phone at 352-435-0566 or at www.elclc.org.
Very good.
The Boys and Girls Clubs of Lake and Sumter counties can be reached by telephone 352-787-5258. Our web address is www.bgclsc.org. It stands for Boys Girls Club Lake Sumter County.org.
Very good.
Educational Foundation of Lake County, our phone number is 352-326-1265, and our website is www.edfoundationlake.com.
Very good.
Nice. And the Bay Street players, you can call 352-357-7777. So that one's easy. And it's www.baystreetplayers.org, all lowercase.
Very good. Well, thank you all for what you do and all the different programs that are enriching our kids in our area. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.